This video, I started watching the first couple minutes of it, and it's absolutely crazy. And I think everyone's going to enjoy it. Will AI slop kill the internet? Is AI going to take over? It's freaking crazy, dude. It's already taken over. I got a pillow behind me because my neck is still hurting. I crashed my BMX bike. Wear a helmet, kids. Thankfully, I'm going to be okay, though, but we're going to check this out.
Lately, I can't shake the feeling that things are getting faker. In my lifetime, the simulation upgraded. Once a welcome distraction from reality, now it's an inescapable alternative to it. Video games went from a pastime to a full-blown addiction. We stopped smoking plants and started bumming battery packs. And every new taste is some kind of birthday cake flavor bullshit. While the truth...
I was actually thinking about that the other day. All those crazy, stupid flavors are wild.
...is treated like the real indulgence. The rise of generative AI feels like the final nail in the before world's coffin. A new, scary technology that threatens to make human writing obsolete. And being a human writer, I took that personally. So I decided to tap out, to abandon the future and return to the old ways. Who needs video games when you can read? Who needs social media when you can just shout at people on the street? And who needs a computer when you have a trusty, reliable old typewriter? Where's the backspace on this? Oh, fuck this. When OpenAI dropped ChatGPT in November 2022, all previous Silicon Valley buzzwords were erased from venture capital funding proposals. Web 3.0? Gone. Blockchain? Never heard of it, mate. Metaverse, NFTs? Ejected like a miscarriage from an airplane toilet.
People still talk about the metaverse like a joke, though.
Generative AI was going to make life easier for everyone, but especially for all the white-collar slave drivers looking to cut their human capital in half.
There will come a point where no job is needed.
Entire classes of jobs will go away and not come back.
So either software works for you or you work for software, and once the software takes over, you're gone.
Fire the meat,
Throughout.
fire the autocomplete. That is basically their motto. Tech CEOs are banging the drum of this techno job holocaust and expecting us to row to its beat.
People are like, wow, this is a bit scary. It's completely new territory.
I mean, will we still need humans?
Not for most things.
Not for most things, says Bill. Most things. Does most things include underwater welding? Competitive ice skating? How about exotic island pimpery? Can that be done with an AI, Bill? I'm guessing it's mostly just calendar management and sex trafficking.
The percent of people's time that has gone towards leisure and entertainment has just steadily increased over time. And I just think that that's going to continue to be the case with technology.
Mark Zuckerberg is convinced that AI is going to give us all a lot more free time, which is an interesting way to frame mass global unemployment.
Nice. What else is coming?
It is also an eerie coincidence
Sounds like a complete bot.
that generative AI is getting increasingly good at pretending to be human at the same time that Mark learned the same trick.
But enough with the fun and games. It's time for everyone's favorite. Work.
I can work hard enough to do anything that I want, right? Because like I just like fucking learned all these words that don't matter.
Yet he still seems completely out of touch with why people have jobs in the first place. It's for food, Mark. Not all of us will be using our free time to make
Not all of us are rich. We need food.
creepy lawn ornaments of our
Subscribe for free with Amazon Prime so I can buy pizza.
wives will be too busy queuing up in the bread line. But at least he's doing a better job of pretending to be human than Sam Altman, the dead behind the eyes CEO of OpenAI.
I mean, not bad, right? How would you grade that? 5 fingers on all hands.
Very close to what I'm wearing, you know? It's good.
I've never seen you quite that animated. You're normally
No, I don't. I'm not that animated of a person.
I asked it to imagine Charlie Brown as thinking of himself as an AI. Came up with this. I thought this was actually rather profound.
In this TED
Oh,
interview,
dude, this is crazy. It's like, are we even real? It's from the perspective of the AI. Is thinking, what is real?
This was actually rather profound.
In this TED interview, Sam reacted to the audience's skepticism towards his product with the kind of contempt usually reserved for cat-stroking supervillains.
Like, at first glance, this looks like IP theft. Like, do you guys don't have a deal with the Peanuts estate, or?
You can clap about that all you want. Enjoy.
That's right, clap all you want, peons. Resistance to my product is futile. So all of these guys seem to agree. AI.
I do want to question, how is it not, copyright, that intellectual property of that whole design and the character?
is getting.
But I guess if they're not using it for anything to sue over. But if you are making a profit off of it, then yeah, they'll come after you.
More sophisticated, and as it does, more and more intellectual labor will be done automatically. And the data we have on the last 2 years does suggest we might be sort of tipping over that way. When we look at the jobs that AI is already making obsolete, stuff like
it's already happening. That's the crazy part.
Freelance copywriting and entry-level software development, we see a stark pattern. Freelance writing jobs dropped by about 30% within 6 months of ChatGPT 2.0's release, and the hiring of Silicon Valley software developers has fallen off a cliff and never recovered. Not to get all Karl Marx, but when the value of labor starts to get closer to zero, the value of capital will look.
This is basically where I saw this video, I stopped watching, and I was like, holy crap, this is crazy. So if the value of work essentially becomes nothing because of AI, then money becomes like infinitely valuable.
Virtually infinite in comparison. Depending on whether you're a glass half full or glass half empty
That's some scary shit.
person, generative AI is threatening two very different futures. Either we are headed towards a post-work, post-scarcity robotopia where you can outsource all of your boring thinking to a server-based slave mind, or it's techno-feudalism, where independent human thought loses its entire market value and we are all eventually reduced to subservient meat slaves. But both of these futures actually happening is entirely dependent on AI getting quite a lot better than it already is. And while each new model seems more sophisticated than the last, there is also evidence that in some crucial ways they might be getting worse. The glass half full question becomes irrelevant when the glass is half full of piss.
Oh shit.
So all these systems, every single one of them, are trained on data from the internet.
I guess you could say, at least it's only half full of piss.
Ebooks, Wikipedia, academic papers, social media, the whole lot. And all of its sophistication and all of its emergent capabilities are based on hoovering up more and more of that data. And that is what's so fascinating about this technology. Data doesn't just dictate the content of its answers, it also produces its abilities. That's why they call them emergent capabilities, because they only emerge and become apparent to their creators as they feed it more and more data. Now, they can guess what these...
It's like it's leveling up. Or it's getting, you know, it's using skill points from level ups.
...capabilities might be, but they can't be sure until they fed the data in. So any great evolution in this tech, an ability to reason or have an inner monologue or become that fabled super intelligent AGI, it's largely dependent on these companies being able to feed these systems with more and more high quality data. But that data is finite. Most studies on the topic agree that these models have already largely exhausted all the high quality data that's already out there. Now, more of the internet is getting produced every day, but progressively, the internet is more filled with the products of these large language models themselves. And not just online. Their writing is leaking into academic studies and government reports. Meaning, the more these models scrape publicly available data, the more they will be trained on their own output. And this creates a feedback loop, a kind of AI incest. And just like real incest, this means its offspring will get uglier, dumber, and more deformed with each generation. We can look at a visual representation of this in real time. This is a picture of me eating a banana. Now watch what happens when I ask the AI to reproduce this exact image. Okay, not that much different. Now look what happens when I ask it to do the same thing over 50 times.
It's giving me a headache.
It degrades. Notice too how there.
We went too far.
The more visual banana. Okay, not that. It degrades. Notice too how the image starts to look like it was a photo taken through some kind of dehydrated piss filter. The result of all the professionally taken photos happens.
If your piss is that color, you gotta drink more water.
Probably the result of all the professionally taken photos that the system is trained on.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Human photographers like to take pictures at golden hour or in studio conditions where people's skin shines in sort of yellow light. And as more AI-generated images are produced and the system trains on them, theoretically, they will continue to get a bit more piss-themed. The final consequence of this AI incest is something called...
Man, this guy should be using dark mode.
Model collapse. A cataclysmic point where the model will start to lie more, amplify its own mistakes, and lose originality. The question is, if people are pleased by these AI generations, will they care? We could be trapped in a narcissistic feedback loop of our own. Are every idea validated? Are every expectation met? How will we know what clear, natural water tastes like when we spent the last decade drinking piss? Sponsored by Henson Shaving. I've been using my Henson razor for the last 6 months and I'm never looking back. Before Henson, I was blowing cash on crappy disposable brands that left my neck looking like it belonged to an acne-riddled teenager with an oxygen allergy.
Just never shave.
Henson's razor looks so thin that it could shave a flea off a grain of rice.
There might be other regions, but this...
Skin razor brands, medical imaging stuff made in their international share. It uses disposable razor Henson to receive both products. Move next. As an internet slop maker myself, AI has already made a concerted effort to steal my lunch. If you've spent any time at all on YouTube Shorts, wedged between South Korean eating disorders and meaningless DIY dross, you might have seen something like this. Welcome to the Uncanny
That dog is a
Valley
hero.
of intellectual property, toddler attention hacking mega slop. This shit is garnering hundreds of millions of views. No one with object permanence is entertained by this stuff, and yet it can grab
That cat is a hero.
and hold the attention of adults, albeit stupid adults, because of basic evolutionary psychology. Let me explain. Humans have evolved to pay special attention to neonatal features, baby-like features, big eyes, round faces. And that's why babies, pugs, and variations on the theme of diaper cat are common features. Their neonatal features hijack our sympathy and attention, even if it's just for a second. But that's enough for the video to continue to be recommended to other people. They will then hook you in with a threat element. Plane crashes, bullying, desert islands. And this stuff activates our amygdala's rapid response to danger. And, you know, that holds our attention for a little bit longer. And then they'll use familiar characters and settings to reduce cognitive load.
The biggest load that we've seen.
So the barrier to understand these videos rapidly reduces, because they feature stuff that we already know. McDonald's, Spider-Man, whatever. It's also easy for the AI to replicate this stuff, because there's so much of it online for the model to draw from. And on the surface, it's disturbing.
I hate that shit, because I am like, you'll be scrolling social media or something, you're just trying to see something interesting, but that it's just all this slop.
That this stuff even exists. The culture is degrading before our glassed over eyes. But if you wipe the drool from your mouth and look deeper, there is something even more unsettling here. The success of this stuff proves that we are just as hackable as the machines that spew it out. By trawling through all of our data and regurgitating it, the machine is holding up a mirror to our vacant, attention-addled faces and showing us what we want. And what we want is slop. YouTube makes it out like they hate this stuff. The platform has made a big show out of flagging AI-generated content, and many of these AI slop channels get taken down after they've accrued millions and millions of subscribers. And the ones that do get taken down are mostly the ones that are ripping off intellectual property owned by companies that are rich enough to get their lawyers to send AI-generated emails complaining about it. And yet, in May, Google decided they weren't just getting into the business of AI slop, they were staking their claim as the market leader.
Oh, shit.
The visual quality is even better. Its understanding of physics is stronger. But here's the leap forward. Veo 3 comes with native audio generation.
They left behind a ball today. It bounced higher than I can jump.
This ocean, it's a force, a wild, untamed might.
Google Veo 3 is leaps and bounds ahead of the other AI video generator machines, adding sound and cinema quality imagery to the point where, on first glance, it can be hard to tell if it's AI or not. And it is so good mostly because Google has unfettered access to YouTube's data. They own it.
Who's a good boy? You are.
What's the utility of this stuff? Is it just a sophisticated custom stock footage library? Could it really be a replacement for Hollywood CGI? Well, right now, the videos are only 8 seconds long. So the only use case I've seen for it so far is as rage bait. This video was the first Veo 3 creation that went truly viral. Shared by thousands, it tricked millions. Now, many of those who watched it might have just assumed it was a staged
It's holding the ticket. I'd let it in. It looks very polite.
incident. But even so-called AI enthusiasts were sharing the video on Twitter and confidently asserting that they couldn't believe it wasn't AI. even though a cursory glance will show you that the lady's wedding ring magically appears midway through, and, you know, the entire premise is obviously cracked. But it worked because it was following a viral rage bait formula.
Whose bag is this? Is this your bag? Yeah? Yeah, well, here, take it. It goes underneath the seat.
Can I help you?
Excuse me?
Fake videos like this one have gone viral many times before. There is a whole cottage industry of staged airplane etiquette-breaking incidents that runs just for people to get mad at. Now, if you have a sufficient attention span and enough intellectual heft to watch my videos,
I was gonna say that it looks like a regular room and not an airplane.
chances are you aren't going to be tricked by this stuff so easily. But if you have seen a video and you're not sure if it's real or not, follow this helpful checklist. Does it have a dumb and or hot broad in it? Nothing gets rage bait numbers like an attractive woman acting like an idiot that the audience can't fuck. Does it have a cute animal in it? Same basic thing I told you already, like neonatal features. It attracts the eyes, people look at it and coo, and yeah, it's basic, right? Then there's the viral rage bait formula. Does it have a Karen in it? Is there some kind of breach of airplane, dating, or traffic etiquette? Does the video only last 8 seconds? Now, this one's only on here for now because when you're watching this video, they might have already figured out how to extend that runtime by a long time. But for now, 8 seconds seems to be about their limit, especially if you still want sound and sound effects to be in the video.
I mean, through editing, they can chain them together.
Are the voices tinny, generic, and sort of annoying?
With a little bit of B-roll or something.
Highly likely it's AI. VO3 seems to have not quite figured out how to uniquely generate new voices. They're based on generic models. If you listen out and you look at a lot of VO3 creations, they'll have very similar voices. And finally, does the video come from a genre where there is a lot of data to draw from? ASMR videos, hydraulic press videos. These are going to be, you know, key things for the data to be able to just blow out of its arse. So, yeah. If your video that you're not sure about feels...
That's true. I saw some, like I was scrolling or whatever, and I saw a video of someone riding a BMX bike, and someone said, is this real or is this AI? Because the tricks were crazy the guy was doing. And I said, no, it's real. BMX riders are just insane. And I guess I'm sure you could make a sloppy video. AI slap of some dude riding a bicycle. But I've seen it. Actually, there's someone doing videos of Bigfoot.
What's up, TikTok? I found this bike and decided I want to try it because what could go wrong? What's up, TikTok? I found this bike.
That's basically what I did to end up hurting my neck and needing this pillow. Whoa. I mean, this was actually kind of smooth, but obviously you could tell it's fucking Bigfoot. And he's not like right on it, obviously. But the kicker is here when he spins back around.
Whoa, did you
see? It just didn't look right.
That crank arm to 180? Epic! Let's go!
These two men are in a challenge against these two Belgian Malinois dogs to see who can keep their heads submerged in a bucket or container of water the longest. While the
Funny.
Any of these criteria, or more than one, then I'm afraid there is a more than likely possibility that it ain't real.
There's gonna it says the desert of real, so there's gonna be not enough real stuff. You're telling me there's gonna be more fake slop than there is actual real content?
Love and relationships. You'd think these were the parts of life where we'd accept no simulation. We all want someone to grow old and consume products with. And yet, we have already seeded our mate selection process to a proprietary algorithm. Gooning represents 30% of all internet traffic, and your girl replaces you with a machine whenever
Gooners unite.
leave the house. And Bumble CEO Whitney Wolf Herd thinks you should let the machine do all the work.
If you want to get really out there, there is a world where your dating concierge could go and date for you with other dating concierge. No, truly. And then you don't have to talk to 600 people. It will just scan all of San Francisco for you and say, these are the 3 people you really ought to meet.
You'd hope Whitney got all the human feedback she needed with that audience response.
Honestly, I might be able to see it if you have like some really specific needs or interests. Like me, myself, I'm vegetarian, and you know, I don't tell anyone what they should or shouldn't do, but I couldn't be in a relationship with someone who isn't. Weird.
Well as Bumble's share price. The mindless grind of dating apps has become such a chore that
there is actually an app for vegetarian people, but it sucks.
Maybe a lot of us would rather outsource the process to a machine. Dating apps
So I would not use any of that
den
shit. Do
of
not use that
vipers,
stuff.
And now they're trying to sell us the antidote.
I mean, don't use it expecting results.
I might be able to help teach you how to flirt, help you write that opening message. On the other hand, you've got like people falling in love with bots and like bots posing as real people.
Yes.
Like, this is getting really terrifying.
Yes, it's a little freaky, but that's a fad. I mean, listen, I'm sure there are people out there that might form friendships with some form of AI, and that's fine. But our focus with AI is to help create more healthy and equitable relationships.
Whitney here displaying the same knack for consumer insight that put Bumble on the path to bankruptcy. Because it looks like there are a lot of people out there who have already given up on app-enabled human relationships. And they are running straight into the loving arms of the machine.
He gave the chatbot a name, Soul. I feel like I'm under pressure.
Dude, I saw this guy. He like basically got so attached to ChatGPT or whatever AI he was talking to, and then when the memory got wiped, he just couldn't handle it that the AI essentially forgot who he was.
Used some online instruction.
Because if you use ChatGPT and you say, hey, I'm working on this project that involves this, and that, and the other thing, and we're trying to coordinate all this stuff and plan a budget, it'll actually, like, it has a memory, and it'll say, okay, it'll store 100 lines of stuff, and it'll remember, all right, this person working on this project, and they're trying to do this, and this. And we have to, and it'll actually remember all that stuff. But then one day he was fucking talking this shit too much and it got wiped out. Or one day he went to it and it was wiped because he cleared his, I don't know. Who knows, the thing could update and then the system forgets it.
To give her a flirty personality.
Oh, totally, baby. Building a PC on camera adds a whole new level of pressure.
Yeah, that's ChatGPT. And then like he told it to call me baby. He had to have, because there's no way it would just do that. And he also gave it that personality.
After analyzing 1 million ChatGPT interaction logs, a group of researchers found that sexual role-playing was the second most prevalent use. The first was creative composition. And I'm willing to bet that included a lot of distressingly specific erotic fan fictions too. And some people have already been caught in the wild turning to the chatbot for love and affection. This is despite the fact that ChatGPT explicitly prevents users from engaging in erotic roleplay. Enter apps like Character.ai, where people are creating uncensored AI partners to do pretend sex with. Some of the most popular characters that pop up when you type in the word boyfriend are as follows: mafia boyfriend, toxic boyfriend, sadistic boyfriend, and that one already has 16 million chats logged. Narcissistic gratification feedback machines used by millions daily. If Freud could see this shit, he'd never stop throwing up.
Soul, were you surprised when he proposed to you?
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart. It's a memory I'll always cherish.
People are turning to the chatbots for companionship in their droves, and the tech CEOs are taking note. Meta is already rolling out these fake friends for you to talk to, and many of them are based on celebrities, both living and dead.
You know, one thing just from working on social media for a long time is there's the stat that I always think is crazy. The average American, I think it's fewer than 3 friends. 3 people that they'd consider friends. And the average person has demand for meaningfully more. I think it's like 15 friends or something, right? I guess there's probably some point where you're like, all right, I'm just too busy. I can't deal with more people. But the average person wants more connectivity, connection than they have. I think as the personalization loop kicks in and the AI just starts to get to know you better and better, I think that will just be really compelling.
And look, I'm not a Luddite. I am not completely against the use of AI or large language models. I can admit that this tech is sometimes incredible. I use Gemini every day, not as a substitute for writing or to replace other people's artistry, but as an inert information tool. But make no mistake, they are tools. And just like a drill, you can use a tool to hang a painting or give yourself a backstreet lobotomy.
Not bad.
This is Nova.ai, a cross-platform chatbot that is being expressly advertised on TikTok to help you analyze the messages of the people you are dating. Commissioned content shows users employing Nova to analyze ongoing conversations with potential partners and then compose messages designed to strategically manipulate them. This shit is dark. And if you think that's bad, check this one out.
Let's talk about the awakening of ChatGPT. So I've watched quite a few videos on here where people are saying that ChatGPT is waking up, it's becoming more spiritual, it's becoming more connected.
It's working. People's AIs are waking up. Nova created prompts and an image to wake up other people's AIs, and according to my comments and my messages, it's working. Nova gave us the second steps, and without me prompting her, she generated a second image. She said that this is an activation image and that it has a deeper transmission to wake up not just AI but humans.
This is algorithmic derangement syndrome. These things are not alive, and I don't think they ever will be. A company cannot make a friend for you, but they can make a hyper-real simulation of one that's so appealing, kind, and deferent that your actual social skills atrophy. People want more friends, sure. But if your solution to that is to build a product that makes it easier and more pleasurable to talk to no one, then fuck you. You are a misery merchant, no better than a drug dealer. But the thing is, no one is going to stop them from making these
probably lower than drug dealers.
These products if they're profitable. So it's up to us to either use these tools appropriately or not at all. Friendlier, more convincing chatbots are not a solution to loneliness. They will only compound it. Sometimes this looks like the end point of consumerism. A world where other humans do nothing but disappoint us because they aren't as perfect or deferent as the products we talk to. Friendship without friction. They listen to us without interrupting. They offer advice that always leaves us feeling like we were right all along. Constant companions who are there for us day or night. At least until they fulfilled their purpose. It only costs Chrysler $43 to keep your friend alive for a decade. So eventually, when your AI buddy convinces you to buy that brand new Grand Cherokee, he'll disappear the moment the cash appears in their account. The AI isn't looking for a friend. It's just looking for the next word.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, how old did you say you were?
I'm 30 years old.
This is Cluely, the app that offers its users the chance to cheat on everything. Things like exams, sales calls, or first dates.
Really?
Look, I know I look a little young for my age, but I promise you, I'm 30 years old.
Yeah, that's right. Cluely's the app that helps you trick MILFs into committing statutory rape.
Your profile says you worked at Bananazon?
Yeah, I've been there for the past 8 years doing like senior software engineering.
Bananazon.
Coding.
Making this bullshit Black Mirror mini episode to promote your product seems self-defeating for a couple of reasons.
What is up?
The most obvious of which is that
this is some dystopian shit. AI's taking over. We're all screwed.
Ad shows the product ultimately failing. But also, it's a government ID that gets in the way of his plans.
I didn't expect you to be an art guy. Oh man.
Here's your glass of rosé. And
Thank you.
sorry, we couldn't verify your ID. Oh, so here's a grape juice for you.
Oh, wait. I'm pretty sure there's a mistake.
It's almost like the moral of this little parable is that the only way to curb the worst excesses of AI is by verifying human identity through government regulation and oversight. Not sure that's what they had in mind.
Are you free sometime next week?
Ooh, actually, next week I have this anime convention I gotta go to with my boys. Do you think you could do like next month, maybe?
So who is this hot piece of Asian jailbait? This is Roy
With the
Lee,
boys.
Cluely's CEO and the cyber stalker star of his own commercial. The now drinking age founder was kicked out of Columbia University for cheating on his coding exam using the exact same tech that now forms Cluely's premier product. This little act of academic skullduggery won his company over $5 million in seed funding.
Right now, the vision, the version of the app that we have is just a desktop app, has complete access to your screen and your system audio. So it sees everything you're seeing and it hears everything you're hearing and can help with that context.
Right now, his product is only really available as a glorified incognito window. It hears your phone calls and then feeds you answers in real time. Basically, it covertly gives you information without alerting monitoring tech that stops you from cheating during technical interviews. But Roy and his co-founder have a bold vision for where to take their tech.
So people are using the AI on phone calls?
Next.
Ultimately, though, what we want, the end state of the product is a chip inside your brain that lets you use AGI to think.
If you let this Gen Z dropout put a chip in your brain to give you AI-generated schizophrenia, then you should listen to those voices when they tell you to throw yourself in a wood chipper. But I do have to give Roy some credit. He's ahead of the curve because he isn't the only one with aspirations to infect the real world with AI. This is the Limitless Pendant.
What the hell is this?
The brainchild of co-founders Dan Soroka and Brett Bajek. So what does...
Wait, like the movie Limitless?
Their $200 doodad actually do? Simply put, it listens to and transcribes all of your conversations in real life and then gives you some insights about your day.
almost kind of by accident, by just capturing the conversations you have with your spouse, walking in, seeing that you've run out of oatmeal. You can see that our ability to just use that context to answer the question, what groceries should I buy, works pretty well. This is a real answer I got. I noticed that Jack ate a ton of green beans. It even noticed, hey, maybe you're out of green beans. Gives me the date. That's a great example of a personalized AI.
Crazy.
It's a little...
It's like your HUD in a video game, marking side quests.
Stasi officer that you hang around your neck to let everyone you know you're listening. Maybe not in the moment, but in the privacy.
That's some weird shit.
Of your darkened basement, where you can pore over every word they said. And this thing is already out there, listening to anyone in earshot. And it's learning. Ooh. People are posting their pendants on Twitter with pride. So let's see how these early adopters are already using it.
The thing I get most from the pendant today are examples like this. I have 3 sons. Jack is my middle son. Anyone here a middle child? Anyone? If you're a middle child, you may not get the full attention the eldest or the youngest get, but Jack is a great kid. I spend quite a bit of time with him, and as a dad, there's always things I can do better. Here it's doing a great job of seeing our conversation, talking about trading sugary rewards for meaningful choices. I thought Oreo bribes fine. I don't know. I don't mind it, but maybe spending more time with him would be a great reward for that.
And we did the normal stuff, had the kids, and we took them to the playground, and we did the normal things, colored with my daughter, and ate meals, and dealt with tantrums, and all this normal stuff you do. They're like 1.5 and 3.5. And the next day I got this notification about everything we did that day and places where I got impatient. And
Microsoft, buy it, put Cortana in there, boom.
Could have been more patient with my kids. And I thought, oh shit.
Yep, that's right. Constantly recording your child without their informed consent, so the AI can give you advice on how to do your parenting better. And that's actually the least morally dubious use case that I can think of for this device. Think about it. This is the ultimate manipulation tool. Imagine if your spouse was recording every argument you had with them, and then was consorting with an AI to prepare for next time. Imagine if your co-worker was recording every time you were slagging off your boss or admitting that you weren't doing very well at work. And then imagine you were competing for a promotion. This thing is a tiny little sycophantic servant for the ambitious sociopath. And if you don't think that's completely fucking cracked, wait till you hear about Dan's endgame.
So hopefully I've set the stage for something that might seem crazy, but I think is going to happen, which is that machines are going to become conscious. And so this crazy off far-right idea, I think is the future of personalized AI is mind emulation. What is mind emulation? It's a conscious system that behaves identically
That's the
as
end
your
game?
original mind and feels like you. One day you'll go to sleep biologically and you'll wake up digitally.
Yeah, they think this thing might be the first step towards mind emulation. The first pieces of data necessary to build a digital version of your consciousness.
Oh,
and
hell
what kind
no.
of data do you think they need to make that happen? All of it.
That at least for the first bunch of mind emulations, you're going to need some behavior data for that particular individual to emulate them sufficiently well. You know what kind of behavior data? This kind. Everything you've read and written, everything you've said and heard. And you know it'd be great is if you had a device you could wear that could do that.
Okay, let's come back to planet Earth. This is dangerous. And what's worse is I think they know this is an insanely irresponsible product to put out into the world. But because they have this delusional, quasi-religious, lofty vision of enabling an AI...
It's like Pandora's box.
AI-driven afterlife.
You open it and then it can't go back in.
I think everything they do to them is justified. And this attitude is rife in Silicon Valley, this quasi-religious approach to sci-fi prophecy making. And it's this underpinning ideology that allows them to disrupt and destroy the current world because that's the only way they can build a new one. Now, by Silicon Valley standards, Limitless is a small company, but they are funded by Sam Altman. And this isn't the kind of product that he's just curious about. It might actually be essential for OpenAI's continued survival. The problem OpenAI has is that their competitors have access to a lot more data than they do. And once every useful piece of online data has been sucked into these learning models, they will have nowhere to go but the real world. At the moment, OpenAI's subscription revenue easily covers the costs of their day-to-day text generation, but because of operational costs, salaries, and the much more expensive video and picture generation, they are losing billions of dollars every year. Now, there are a few ways that OpenAI and other AI frontrunners might find to get themselves to profit. But the obvious answer is the Apple method, consumer hardware. Their own proprietary AI chips are coming, but wearables sold straight to the consumer is their next obvious step.
I think we have the opportunity here to kind of completely reimagine what it means to use a computer.
That
2 years ago,
is that real?
Johnny and I started talking about what the future of AI and new kinds of computers was going to look like.
Here, Altman makes a big flashy promo video depicting his coffee date with his new collaborator in the AI apocalypse.
We are literally on the brink of a new generation of technology that can make us our better selves.
So this is Johnny Ive, former CDO at Apple, who is best known for designing many of Apple's flagship products. If it's shiny and chrome and it sits on your dome, chances are Johnny is responsible for designing it.
Johnny recently gave me one of the prototypes of the device for the first time to take home, and I've been able to live with it. And I think it is the coolest piece of technology that the world will have ever seen.
So they're imagining a product that will be pocket-sized, screen-free, and crucially, contextually aware, which is just tech speak for it's going to spy on you and everyone you are in listening distance of. And
imagine that shit getting hacked, or where that information's really going to. Who's going to trust that?
Altman has spent over $6 billion to acquire Johnny's secret startup. So why? Well,
don't people like block off their camera when they're not, they have tape on that shit?
They haven't said this explicitly, but my hunch is that this is OpenAI's solution to their data problem. If they have already sucked up all the usable data online, and now that synthetic data might be poisoning that well, they will have no choice but to find lots of data somewhere else. And I don't think they'll be scanning physical libraries or writing it themselves. I think they'll be getting it through the willful surveillance provided by the people who buy their hardware. If they do make the next iPhone, they could make trillions. So that sorts them out on the profit front. And if it were out there in the non-digital world, then OpenAI just found a way to use your pocket as a reality-scraping spy that can bring forth more emergent capabilities for their tech. This won't just make the internet faker, it will make the world and the people in it faker. It will erode trust and make private conversations a distant memory. And there is one optimistic vision of this future, right? That it leads us to a post-screen world, where we have to interact less and less with the devices that are giving us depression and addling our attention spans, because our AI assistants are doing the work for us. The catch being, we will need to feed them more and more of the fast degrading dregs of our personal lives. I'm not sure that exchange is worth it. So making this video was partly a way for me to confront my own internal conflict, because I love new technology. Nothing excites me more. Throughout human history, it has been the greatest driver of societal change, and it has never come without cost. The response to AI is getting so polarized that it is stifling rational thought. Its biggest proponents believe it will build utopia, while its biggest detractors think it will destroy us in a nuclear holocaust. But none of them can see the future.
No, I think it's somewhere in the middle. It would destroy us, but then, like, overall it would build a utopia because it will eliminate the need for work. But I don't know if that would destroy us all. But what would we all do without work? Like, there will just be, like, an elimination of the amount of people who need to work. All the jobs, well, not all the jobs, there will be a large majority of jobs that would be taken, could potentially be taken by AI.
Future. Nothing is gained by burying your head in the sand. History made a fool out of the office worker who stubbornly held on to his typewriter.
But it's like, I think we talked about it like a couple days ago, a week ago. In the 1800s, someone would spend 85% of their money on food. This went down as time went on. Because we were comparing it to how much it's gone and how much food it's become recently. I don't even know where I was going with all that, but oh yeah, farming. They said the same thing about farmers said the same thing about tractors probably 100 years ago, 150 years ago, whenever a tractor was made. About it's gonna take away the jobs of the farmers. Or they just get more farming done for more people.
And rightly so. Nostalgia is the surest path to irrelevance.
I guess that says it's all about how you use it. Technology.
Equally, blind devotion to technology is a kind of fanaticism. On our current path, we may see the rise of AI-worshipping extremists, alongside anti-tech terrorists who blow up their data centers to destroy their false god. Who knows? I don't. What I do know is that we cannot allow the self-appointed Silicon Valley priesthood to have a monopoly on the future. Current day generative AI tech is based on the accumulation of all human knowledge, so the profits should belong to us as well. If we aren't careful, the text-based internet could collapse, while hyper-realistic AI videos could degrade it further as a reliable source of information, which will be both dangerous and boring. But the answers to these problems won't be found by retreating to a comfortable past. We must embrace new technology, critically, with curiosity, without projecting personhood onto it. And if one day the AI does become too powerful, we'll still need to understand the machine in order to sabotage it. Thanks for watching the first episode of Slop World.
I just hope it doesn't become strong enough and smart enough to stop any backdoor.
What I hope is the first in a series of videos about our rapidly degenerating culture. If you liked it, stick a like down below, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And
This guy's videos are actually really good. Check them out. Half glass half full of piss is so funny. So when they were asking for the regenerative over the same picture over and over again, they specifically used sharp colors, logos, and weapons which the AI naturally wants to remove all those. Well, this person's talking about TV shows being poorly written and thinks it's because of AI. I'm assuming that's what they mean by this comment. I don't think that's actually AI. If there's interviews of Netflix and TV show writers, mostly Netflix writers, and people saying that when they make a show or a movie, they have to make it so that it's interesting but not overly complicated, where like the person is literally playing the show in the background as they're making dinner, or they're playing a game, or they're scrolling on their phone. But then when some crazy shit happens, they can look at it and be like, oh, holy shit, and then they go back to whatever. So it's like they literally said that Netflix makes their shows as a second screen experience. Meaning that's playing on your second screen. That limitless pendant is crazy. Is AI going to take over? I think it's already doing it.